and welcome back to my small little library. I'm really sorry about how I look, but it is really warm here today, and yeah, I am melting pretty much. So yeah, I didn't want to put any makeup on, and I'm fresh out of my vacation. So yeah, I have as much color in my skin as I will ever gonna get. So yeah, I'm looking a little bit on the rough side, but it's not about me, it's about the books. So let's talk about today's topic. And I do want to talk about pretty much one book or the two books of the author I've read, but mainly it's supposed to be a review about Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. It is a book I just received shortly, and let me show you my edition because I personally think it's a better looking edition. But yeah, I got my first ever Evernight box from Illumicrate, which is like a horror book box subscription, and this was the book that was in there, and it is, as you can see, Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. And I absolutely love this cover. The not Illumicrate cover is red with the eyes, but I personally think this one really reminds me of like movies, which is a topic about of the book, which yeah, I find that really fitting, way more fitting than the red cover. I'm gonna blend it in here, the cover I think that it has normally, but yeah, really love this cover. Brilliant book design, especially the end pages, as you can see, it's fantastic. Love the design. This one as well. This has pretty much the cover of a book that is a main topic in the book, which I think is really nice. And yeah, this book, well, obviously I didn't pick it out, I got it in a book box, but I was so positively surprised by the book that I kind of wanted to talk about it, give you like a little bit of a review. More like, well, not really in depth. If you watched any of my other videos, I'm not really one to analyze that much. I want to share it with the world because I really enjoyed it, and I kind of want to contrast it a little bit with the other book I've read by her, and that is Mexican Gothic, a book I wasn't the biggest fan of. This one, 4 stars, but for a reason that I will mention in a bit. I think actually for more people that this could actually be 5 stars, but yeah, I have a reason why it's only 4 stars for me. This one I gave 3 stars, and only just that. It was kind of like a split between 2 and 3 stars, because I think this tried way too much to fit into like a horror category that I don't think the author really fit in that well. And so yeah, this one felt a little bit forced and therefore really boring, and there wasn't really much happening, and in the end it wasn't really that impressive. And so after buying and reading this, I kind of like was said to myself, well, you really just don't like her writing, you don't enjoy what she does, so just don't pick up anything else. Maybe if you do just second hand, but yeah, don't pick anything else up. And so when I opened the book box and I saw the author, I was really disappointed at first, which thankfully redeemed. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed because I was afraid that I wouldn't like this one, just as I didn't like this one that much. But yeah, this one was, I think it's more the type of book that fits for the author's writing style. At least in my personal opinion, which obviously it's just my opinion. I don't have any like education when it comes to film, to books and stuff like that. So obviously it's just like a really personal preference. But yeah, the book itself is about 2 movie buffs, you can say. One of them is an actor, or like voice actor nowadays, but he was an actor when he was younger, and the other one is a sound editor, I think it's what it is. And so yeah, she makes pretty much the After Effects, adds in sounds and stuff into movies, and yeah, they're both in their late 30s, which I personally really love. It gives the book a little bit of a twist. A lot of books I read, even though if they're like a thriller stuff, it always feels like the characters are relatively young or relatively old. There rarely is the middle ground, and so this one, having main characters who are in their late 30s, really felt like a great like a great difference to other books, you know. And so yeah, we have our, well, they love movies. Their friendship pretty much thrives on movies. They know each other since they were children because they grew up in the same neighborhood, and obviously their lives took quite different turns. But yeah, and so the guy moves into an apartment, and he gets the post office neighbor, which he's like annoyed, but you know, why not bring it to the neighbor, be nice. And it turns out his neighbor is an old film director, I think he is. He worked in film. And so he did make horror movies, which is the movies that they love the most, and they know his films, and they're really excited to get to know him. And the old guy, because he is now quite old, I think in his 70s, you know, he's really happy to have the attention of two people who really love the topic and that he can talk with. And so, because he kind of likes them, he asked them to help him finish a movie that was shot on Silver Nitrate, which is actually a really explosive substance, which I never knew. I'm not into movies, so yeah, hint there why I gave it 4 stars. But yeah, I don't know. They talk to him, and yeah, they kind of in the end want to help him. There comes occultism in at some point, magic, supernatural stuff, kind of, and yeah, so they want to help him, and pretty much everything goes wrong from there. And yeah, I kind of liked it. I think for me, but that is just kind of like the thing with putting books in genres. This one is for me a supernatural mystery more than a horror book per se. I personally don't think that this is a scary book. It has its moments, but for me they weren't really scary. They were more mysterious, you know. It feels a little bit like Supernatural. I only ever watched the first season, but I always felt like they had like really small scary moments, but most of it was just mystery and figuring out what is happening and what kind of supernatural phenomenon is behind that. So yeah, for me personally, it's not as much of a horror book as it is a supernatural mystery. But that is totally fine. I love those books, so that is actually like really, really perfect. And yeah, I really like the relationship our main characters have. They are friends, though our female main character, which let me look up the names. I already forgot those. Yeah, Montserrat. Let me just like quick insert here. The book plays in Mexico City, which I think is a really nice setting. I love that it's not like a typical American setting, because obviously it gives the whole book a whole lot of different like topics to talk about. The culture is different. Our movie maker, like the whole book is about the movie scene in Mexico City, and kind of like in contrast to different countries, especially America. And so yeah, I really like that. And so yeah, we have our guy is called Tristan, and our woman is called Montserrat. So Montserrat pretty much always had a crush on him, but Tristan is like, you know, the pretty boy who got together with the starlet. Stuff like that. There's things happening. I'm not gonna spoil those. But yeah, so she's kind of like the rejected lover / friend. She's kind of over it, but not really. But I think it just makes the relationship between them really, really interesting. If you watch more of my videos, I hate romances in books. It's just not something I enjoy reading about. I either like, you know, the really dirty stuff where the relationship isn't the focus, but you know, the physical aspects are the focus, or no relationship at all. I'm just not somebody for the in-between, to be honest. And I really love that this book is pretty much about two friends who have a relationship, and there is a little bit of like tension between them, but it's not, you know, anything that is like a focus. The friendship is the focus, the relationship between the two people, and the fact that they already have like 30 years together and stuff like that, you know, that is the focus. And it doesn't display this like perfect friendship, you know, they have their struggles. They feel really, really, really human. And I think that is the thing this book does the best. I feel like the characters feel really, really great. They are really realistic. You know, there are people who I could just walk outside and, you know, see them walk across the street and didn't think anything wrong with them, which I love, because there are so many books out there where I feel like the people feel weird, which, funny enough, is in here. I didn't like the characters in here because they kind of felt like stilted and like forced into this scenario, you know, but here they feel really, really, they just fit, you know. It's a really, really, really fitting thing. So yeah, that is pretty much the thing I love the most about the book. The relationships, the people, how human they feel. There are aspects in here I feel I like really cookie cutter. They're pretty obvious from the beginning. It's not like a mystery where you need to find out what is happening, you know. That is all like really, really obvious. It's more of a mystery of like what will happen in the details, you know, and why stuff is happening, and you know, what can our main characters do? Why are they in the story? What is kind of their but their move in the story, you know. So yeah, that is pretty much the main thing. Now, let's talk about why I only gave it 4 stars. One of the main things is this book is about movies, and it is so heavy in like the movie lore, which, don't get me wrong, I think it's nice, it's cool to read about topics like that, but I, for one, am not a movie person. I will watch movies, I watch TV, you know, stuff like that, like series and stuff. I actually don't watch TV, you know, but like Netflix, Disney Plus, stuff like that. But I'm not somebody who's into like movie lore or who knows actors or directors or stuff like that, you know. I have to watch an actor a lot of times in different movies to actually recognize them. I have a hard time recognizing people, so like, you know, if you tell me a name, there's a good chance I won't recognize it, but pretty much only if it's like a really, really big star which you read about every day or stuff like that, you know. But if you have like still like really well-known actors but that I don't see every day on the news, I won't know them. It's just like that, you know. So for me, all of that really went over my head. It's not something I'm particularly interested in, and there's a lot of it in the book, which, to be honest, if you're a movie buff, it's probably really, really, really cool. But for me, for somebody who doesn't care for the topic, it's really just over the top, you know? It's too much. Yeah, it's just, there were stuff in there where I was like, okay, I'm ready to, like, you know, stop the conversation and go somewhere else, you know. But I do get that it's obviously a big factor in the book, and it's like a really, really big, important topic, and so that is why I gave it 4 stars, because personally for me, it's not the topic I enjoy reading about that much. But yeah, I feel like for people who love movies, especially maybe horror movies, the lore behind movie making, like the Silver Nitrate films, where you have to keep them cooled so they don't explode, because they actually can explode if they get too hot, stuff like that, you know, is a lot in here. And so yeah, it's kind of, I just didn't love the book because of that. I really, really, really liked the book, but I didn't love it because my interests just simply differ from the book. But that being said, I think it's a brilliant book. It is a lot of fun to read. I think it has the perfect pacing. It isn't too big, it isn't too short. I think it's like, you know, 300 pages, so I personally feel like it's a good length for the type of book. Obviously, my edition is just really, really pretty. I also do think they come signed. Yeah, so it is a signed edition. So yeah, I love it. Well, I really enjoyed it, and so that is pretty much why I wanted to share it with you, because for me, I mean, obviously, if you love Mexican Gothic, because obviously there are people out there who love this, I would still say pick this up, even though I think, personally, it's like a way better book, you know? But yeah, so I'm hopeful that I will like more of her, since the Mexican Gothic kind of was just an outlier for me. So I will definitely look more into her books now. Because now I'm intrigued, you know. Now I want to see what she has to offer else. So yeah. Maybe, if you have read more from her, maybe leave it in the comments down below which do you think I should read, which are the best from her, and which ones you think I maybe shouldn't read, so I just don't waste my time with them, you know. But yeah. So this is my short, quick little review about Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. It really kind of like saved her for me. So yeah, I really, really enjoy that, and I love the copy that I have. I think it's a great book. I think if you like supernatural stuff, films, movies, or that lore, you really should pick it up because it is a great read, and it's a fun, like, you know, one day quick read, maybe like for a train ride, stuff like that, you know. I think that is what the book is perfect for. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review of the book, and yeah, hopefully I will see you in the next video. Leave a like, maybe subscribe, that would mean the world to me, and yeah, until the next one, bye bye!